Josh here from DIYmusicmovement.com. Welcome to the final part of Module 9 of the 15-minute band builder. This is 9.1.3, social media. So we'll fly through these so we can get this social media module finished. The first section is blogging. Everyone knows or has heard that they should be writing a blog, or they should be committing to a blog or a video blog or something like that. It really is important. I won't go into too much detail as to how to set up a blog here, but just understand that even if you go and sign up for a free Tumblr account with your band name in the URL, or a free WordPress site account, it is really important to be blogging, to be putting out content, to be practicing your writing, to be communicating with fans, because your most hardcore fans will respond to your blog and will probably read it and share it. It's a good place to be honest, to share deeper stories, more information, and information that's not just play this or click that or here's a news update. You can be really personal about the stories, whether it's just tales from the road or something you're working on behind the scenes, maybe a story arc for your albums that joins together, or anything that you would like to be blogging about. It's a good place to do that. Keep all of your thoughts in one place and allow your most hardcore fans to find that in one central location and then share it if they like it. So some great bloggers include Guy Kawasaki, Seth Godin, and Derek Sivers are all bloggers within the social space, the tech space, the thought leadership space. They all touch upon music at different times in their writing, so that's why I mentioned those three. Guy talks a lot about technology that impacts the music industry, as in Apple and things like that. Seth Godin has made a lot of poignant comments about the dissolution of the record labels and all that sort of stuff. He kind of predicted that they'd done the wrong thing, and it turned out that they had. And Derek Sivers was, if you did not know, the creator and founder of CD Baby, kind of the industry leader for a very long time in the independent music distribution space. So go check out those three. They've got great blogs. Seth does his really regularly. I mean, he's a very famous author now in his own right. And Guy shares a lot of awesome stuff on Twitter, so it's a good chance to keep up with their best blogging material if you follow them on their social media sites. In the DIY music space, I'll check out James Moore, who is the author of Your Band is a Virus, Michael Brandvold from Michael Brandvold Marketing, Thorny Bleeder, or at Thorny Bleeder on Twitter. That's Brian Thompson, is the owner of Thorny Bleeder Records and the Thorny Bleeder brand. He shares a podcast with Michael Brandvold called the Music Biz Weekly. That is my favourite music podcast. It's really the only one I listen to now regularly. They stick to a schedule, which most other music podcasts don't, and I have been a culprit at doing that a little bit myself lately, but I am back on track with that, so thanks for bearing with me. And then there's Josh DIY Music, which is myself. So if you'd like to follow me, I also talk about that stuff, and I also blog regularly at DIYmusicmovement.com. An example of a syndicated blog content, so syndication happens by RSS, which is really simple syndication online. The beauty of blogs is that you can actually subscribe to them and have the information automatically delivered to you when a new post goes live, is the DIY Music Movement podcast itself. A big blog aggregator of audio content from blogs is the iTunes Store. You can also go to the DIYmusicmovement.com homepage, which is a blog page, and subscribe to the actual RSS feed there and have those automatically delivered to you every time there is a new post into your blog catcher, whether that's Google Reader, although that's going away, or Feed Blitz or something like that. So you can put up text blog posts, video blogs, pictures, anything you like, just share that content. The blog's a good way of it, making it shareable, controlling the environment that it's presented in. You might put up a wonderful photo on Facebook that you think's really, really cool, and then have a bunch of your mates being dags on there and swearing and a bunch of other stuff, and if that doesn't really suit the environment that you're trying to create or the mood, then that's really hard to control on another platform, because you don't control the platform entirely. Whereas on your own blog, you can control how it's presented, how people talk to each other on there, how it's shared, all that sorts of stuff. So blogging is definitely a go, and it will help you become a better writer. And to be honest, other than creating great music, being a good writer is probably the next most important skill beyond the artistry of creating and performing music. 6 keys for band blogs. I'll go through these quickly. They should be pretty self-explanatory. Just know that these are the done things of all blogs that are popular, regardless of what genre or what topic they cover, but are particularly important for bands and creative people in general. That's to comment back to fans, regardless if it's positive or negative. You want to be as humble as you can with the positive remarks, and obviously as gentle as you can if they happen to be negative. Try to get that person back on the side. A caveat to that is that you want to protect your fan from what's known as trolls. If there's someone being really, really rude for no apparent reason and being aggressive to either you or to your fans for no real reason other than the fact that they want to be, you need to get rid of them, ban them from your blog, delete their comments. You want to protect the experience for your fans in general that are there being positive and communicating with each other and having a good time, sharing in your brand and your experience that you're providing. So comment back to everyone, but be mindful of the fact that trolls just deserve to be squashed in one form or another, to be blunt. They don't need to be there. Blog consistently. I'm not saying go out and blog every day. It doesn't have to be any more often than once a month, but make sure it is very consistent. People who follow blogs get used to a certain amount of consistency. They like that. They know when to expect a new post or a new podcast episode which is attached to your blog, or that every second Tuesday of the month, that particular blog post, where if you're doing it weekly on a Tuesday, the one every second Tuesday is going to be a photo. You might have a certain group of your crowd that only wants to see those posts, so you want them to be coming out at the same time each month. It's important to be linking between posts if you have older material that may be relevant to a newer post, same subject matter, or you played the same city again if you wanted to do a before and after, those types of things. It's a good idea to link between posts so fans can get lost in your site, so to speak, but in a good way. You don't want to make it complex to navigate your blog, but you do want people to stay within the environment as long as they can and enjoy the experience as much as they can. So our second last one for 6 keys to band blogging is to create and stand by your band's blog policies. If you have a certain policy with language or people posting other media or outbound links, attitudes towards other commenters, make sure you're steadfast with those rules. You don't change from day to day, allowing one behavior one day from one person and not allowing it from someone else and vice versa. You need to be very mindful that your community is watching you when you have a popular blog, if it does reach that level, and they want to see consistency in how you behave as far as language and media posts and links and attitudes between commenters and those sorts of things. So you want to keep that very consistent. And finally, share your blog posts via social media and in turn drive inbound traffic from social media to your blog. So you want to be using your blog content as actual material to add to your social media and driving them back to and keeping people within your universe, essentially. Okay, next up is subscription radio and streaming. So I'm just going to list these off, and I encourage you to go and have a look at the different platforms and how they operate. We'll just focus on the top two, Spotify and Pandora. Spotify is a streaming style service where you choose the artists and by name that you would like to see. You can search them by name or genre or any of those things or similar artists, and it will recommend them to you. You can play any song that you want that's on there by that artist and queue them up in that order, create lists, all that type of stuff, see other people's lists. It's directly linked to social media. And then you have the premier subscription radio service is something like Pandora, which has now reached Australia, which is actually a curated list from their end that is sent to you via choosing of genre or general sounds. You don't get to choose individual artists and have them played back at you in a big long list. It is actually curated for you. So there's similar services to Spotify and Pandora out there: Mog, Rdio, Deezer, Xbox 360, which is accessible through the actual Xbox Live network, JB Hi-Fi Now, which is an Australian-based music provider, Sony Music Unlimited, Samsung Music Hub, which is for all those Samsung users out there, I guess. I think the new, Google service is Google Play Music All Access or something really tongue-twistery like that. It's like a radio, and Last.fm if you wanted to go actually to the Last.fm site and find curated lists and curated material that may suit your taste. So there's all different kinds of subscription radio and streaming services there where you can find music, download apps. Some of these services operate on both your phone and a desktop. They have a freemium model and a premium model for several of these services. So I encourage you just to go check those. Over time, they're going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. So particularly if they're reporting sales figures, which some of these services are now, as there has been moves overseas, particularly in the US, to really qualify how many streams or plays on a subscription or streaming service qualifies to a sale. So keep an eye on that space is all I'm getting at. Here's some quick content marketing ideas just to put back through a lot of the social media stuff we talked about in the last 4 modules. So to actually use as content to be using as posts and updates. Web video from the band, photos and pictures, articles on topics of interest, so things that your fans might find interesting that you find interesting. Reviews, user reviews, testimonials. They can be video or text or any other form, audio. Press and media clippings if you have some. Reviews of other bands that you like or recommendations of other artists that you like. and links to cool, funny blog posts. Make sure that they're within the scope of your band. If you're a super serious political death metal band and you're sharing pictures of puppies and stories about cats being rescued from trees, it's probably not going to sit all that well with your audience across the board. And obviously they can be in video form or picture form or whatever you choose to repost. So just to encapsulate Module 9, I encourage you to go back, look through either the DIYmusicmovement.com/15MBB page or youtube.com/user/JoshDIYmusic to get a list of all of the modules so far, particularly these social media modules, which is Module 9. That's to decide what you would like to do, whether you like to write more or record your voice more or draw or make pictures or all of the above. What are your strengths? So focus on those to produce content to begin with. So you've got a lot that you can put out quickly without too much stress. Design your band's content marketing strategy according to those strengths. So as I just mentioned, focus on those things that you know you can use and create easily. And that is something you already have a talent in before you go venturing off deciding we want to do video, even though you're already really good at all of the other major content forms. Stick with what you're strong at first and then build into other content marketing strategies later. And just to remember, social media and content marketing is a marathon, not a sprint.